beautiful people out there in the world. Fast Food Toy Reviews here. Today we have Hasbro Gaming, set of 8 cool looking toys released by McDonald's back in 2020. Let's get them opened up and have a closer look. Number one in the set is Hungry Hippos. And what I find really cool about this particular set is that each toy is a little mini action figure representation of the classic board game. So we have this little adorable mini figure of Hungry Hippos, and you got some moving bits. You can rotate the arms up and down like so, and the little feetsies are molded into place, but you flip it around, and look at this. There's the Hungry Hippos game, and it came with some simple instructions, so let me read that real quick. Flip the game upside down to dump the marbles into the playing field. Players say ready, set, go, and at the same time, pull their levers repeatedly to try to get their hippos to eat the most marbles. Once all the marbles have been eaten, the player that ate the most wins. If it's a tie, the player that ate the yellow marble wins. So if you look closely, there's a little yellow marble in there, and you got a couple of little levers right here, and watch. So basically, they're spring-loaded, they chomp the little marbles, and you just take turns with your buddy, you sit it down like this, and you just eat your little marbles, and then when they're all gone, whoever gets the last one, you count them up. Game's over after you get the last one eaten. And then you count them up and see who's got what. So it contains the marbles right there on the side and there. I don't think the green one, oh, the green one ate one. So this is fun. This is one of the all-time classic great board games. So if you haven't played the real version of this, you're missing out. This doesn't function like 100% properly. It's kind of gimmicky and wonky. But that's okay. It's still fun, especially if you're playing with a friend. You can have a good time with it. And that's it. So there you go. It's the Hungry Hippos. Number two in the set is Monopoly. Yes, one of the all-time greatest board games in history is Monopoly. And of course, we have the little, like, box figurine of Monopoly. You can rotate the arms here and here. And it's kind of tight. And let's see, so you got the feet here, no movement in the feet, and you open this up. It's got a little tab right there, so you flip this open. And inside, we have a little bag of goodies. So let's take a look at that. So we'll close that up, set him off to the side, and let's open this up and see what kind of little goodies we have here. So it looks like we have some cardboard stuff that we need to put together and fold. It looks like a die right there. And some kind of tabs, tokens. I think those are tokens. And let's see, what is this? Is this like a game board? Oh yeah, look at this. It's a game board that folds open like this. You unfold it. And look at that. You have a classic Monopoly board. And let's see, what do we got here? So these are like the property cards. Oh, look at this. Right there, property cards. And we have Park Place, Boardwalk, some of the all-time classics. States Avenue, New York Avenue, Tennessee Avenue. Kind of cool. All right, so let's mess around with this. Let me get this put together. We'll be right back. All right, so we got everything kind of assembled here, and I was able to flatten out the Monopoly board pretty decent. And so I folded up and created the little 6-sided die, so you can see it's kind of neat. You can actually probably just use a regular, normal die, plastic die, but this one will work, especially if you're like, I don't know, traveling or whatever. You can take this on the road with you. And here are the little pieces. Here's the little top hat, and you fold the little tabs out to make them stand. So basically, it's 2 to 4 players. And it has traditional Monopoly type rules. The only thing we're missing here is like money. And so let me read the basic instructions so you have an understanding of how this works. So right here it reads, punch out the property cards and token cards, fold the token cards so they stand up, yada yada. And then to play. On your turn, roll the die and move clockwise that many spaces. If you land on an unowned property, take that property card. If you land on a property someone else owns, do nothing. If you land on a railroad, move to any space on the board. If you land on free parking, roll again. If you land on go to jail, move to the jail space and skip your next turn. How to win. The game ends when all the properties have been claimed. Then players count up how many properties they have, and that player wins. That's kind of cool. So it's basically a luck of the roll, more or less, but there is really, this is not really a strategy game because It doesn't have the full-on rules, but it is kind of fun, and I think that if you get the right people with you, all your buddies and pals, maybe some family members, grandma, grandpa, you can probably have a good time playing this. I don't see why not. I love Monopoly, and this one's a complete win. There you go, Monopoly. Now here's a really fun one from back in the day. This is called Operation, and it looks really cool. You got the little wiggly arms here, and of course the feet are just kind of molded into place, and it looks really cool just standing there. I like these little action figure type board games. This is cool. So you flip it over, and on the back you have several pieces. Let's see, we have a heart, looks like a dog, a bone, and a butterfly. So the rules state you can play with one or more players, and so basically you get a buddy, you shake these up, and then you knock them to the bottom, and then you have this piece right here, which looks like tongs of sorts, and it's a little magnetic tip on the end. It's inside there, and so all you do is you lay this on a flat surface like this, and you get a timer, and you say ready, set, go, and then you do the timer, and then you take this and you move the little pieces into place, and you got to take your time with it, and you can slide them around and get them lined up in the appropriate place. So we have the butterfly here, so the butterfly goes in the middle, the dog, we'll move out of the way, we'll move the butterfly, and you got to kind of spin this and twist it, and it is really hard, believe it or not, because when you go to take the magnetic tongs, this little magnetic pen away, the piece wants to move with it when you slide it away, so it is kind of tricky. And see, we have the bone here, so we try to move the bone, see, and it wants to turn and twist, and if you get it lined up just right, and let's see, we'll move the dog right here. I think the dog is going to go in here, but see, as soon as you go to move it, you have to lift it like straight up directly and hope it falls into place. And then we'll move the little heart here, and you got to twist it and move it, and the faster you do this, the better chances you have of winning. So basically somebody's got a little stopwatch or use their phone with a stop clock on it, and the faster you do it, the better chances you have of winning. And then you just take turns with your friends, and then when you start over, you just shake these all up like this and make sure they're at the bottom, and then you just say go. I bet you can't do it in like, I don't know, probably 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes at best. I don't know, it's kind of tricky. And they made this string a little too short, so it makes it kind of hard because you're pulling on this. But either way, it's really cool and definitely a challenge. So there you go. It's the Operation game. Number 4 is Connect 4. I'm absolutely loving these toys. Look at this thing. They made the board game into a, like, I don't know, mini action figure, whatever you want to call this. So he's got some moving arms down here. The feet are molded into place, and you flip it over, and there is where you play the game. And you got some slots up here, and underneath, right here, is where you retrieve the pieces. When you are done, you start over. They fall in through here, and you can just get them right there. It's kind of smart. And so here are the instructions, and it's very simple. It reads, each player selects a game color, yellow or red, and the youngest player goes first. Players take turns dropping game pieces into place to get 4 of their color in a row first, while also blocking the other players from getting 4 in a row. The first player to get 4 of their color game pieces in a row, horizontally, diagonally, or vertically, wins. Very cool stuff. Here are the game pieces. So you have red ones and yellow ones, and then there's a little tab right here along the side. It's like a 2-colored little stick, and it shows you here in the picture, if you get a piece stuck, you can use that to knock the piece out. And basically all you do is you try to get 4 in a row, and it takes some brain energy and strategy, and you get 4 in a row this way, or diagonally. Very cool stuff. So there you go. It's Connect 4. Next we have Trouble. That's right, we have Trouble. And this is a really cool looking little figurine. I like this one. It's got the little baseball hat, and you can't move it. It's fixed into place. The arms rotate all the way around. The little feet are fixed into place, and you flip it over, and there's the Trouble button that helps you roll the die. So you got one little 6-sided die in there. That's awesome. And then the front panel here pops open. You open this up, and inside, let's see, we get this open. Come on, there we go. And inside looks like we have the game board and some instructions. So let's see what's going on with this here. So we'll need this part of the gameplay, because you need this. And let's see, it reads 2 to 4 players. Each player chooses a color and puts their pawns on the matching color home spaces. Players take turns pressing down on the Pop-O-Matic die roller and moving pawns clockwise that many spaces around the board. So if you roll a 4, you move a 4. Players can only move pawns that are on the playing track. If a player rolls a 1 or a 6, they can either move a pawn from their home onto the start space on the track, or they can move a pawn already on the track that many spaces. If a player lands on the space occupied by another player, then that player moves their pawn, must return home. So the first player to get all 3 of their pawns into the finish zone wins. So it's very simple. So let's open this up and see what we got here. Okay, so there are the little pawn pieces. So we have red, yellow, blue, and green, and each player gets 3 pieces. And then we open up the game board here. So let's see what we're looking at. We open this up and kind of like fold it and flatten it into place a little bit. There we go. So there is the treble game board. This is awesome. I'm absolutely loving this set. So basically, all you would do is pop out your pieces, pick a color, and then I think, in fairness, you would roll this. Each person would take and pop this, and whoever gets the higher number gets to go first, and then you would just go, I suppose you would go clockwise, and pick a color. I guess I would want to pick red. And then there's your little home spaces, and then you can start here and then work your way all the way around, and then back to here, and then up, and the first person to get all 3 of their colors into this spot right here wins. I think this is kind of cool. So there you go. It's Trouble. Next up at number 6 is the Game of Life, and it has 2 little moving bits. You can rotate the arms up this way and down this way, or back here all the way around, however you want to do it. The little feet are fixed in place, and on the back we have a little dial that you spin, and that's part of the game right here. So you spin this and then see what number you get. So we'll set that off to the side, and here are the instructions. 2 to 4 players. Unfold and flatten out the game board, separate the car movers, and fold their bottom tabs in opposite directions so they can stand. Each player chooses a car and places it on the start space. The youngest player goes first. On each player's turn, they spin the spinner and move that many spaces along the board. If you land on a special spot, follow the instructions on the game board. The first player to get to the finish wins. Okay, so we open this up. There's a little panel up here. We open this up, and inside we have some stuff. Okay, so let's take this out and see what we got here. So we got the board all folded up, and let's see. Oh, we got some game pieces. There are the little moving cars. We have red, yellow, and we also have blue and green. And let's open this up and see what this looks like here. This is cool. I'm really enjoying this set. So let's see. So we have a little racetrack kind of sort of. It's start here. So you place all 4 of your tokens right here. The youngest player goes first, and then you would spin and roll. And it landed on 7. So you would go 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you land on special spots, let's see what they read. Payday, spin again, stop, flat tire, wait here until your next turn. So if you land on the stop sign, you lose a turn. And it's express lane here, so it's like a shortcut. So if you land here, you can shoot over here. And it says express lane, skip ahead, payday, spin again, and then there is the finish. This is awesome. So you would just use the little spin dial and hope you get high numbers and don't land on the stop thing. That's kind of awesome. So there you go. It's the Game of Life. Now this is one of my all-time favorite games from my childhood. This is called Twister, and you flip it over on the back, and there's a little spin dial. It tells you what color and what finger or thumb to use. So if you land here, it's a thumb, pointer finger, pinky, or ring finger. This is awesome. So you got the little spin dial there, and inside you flip this open here. Little panel, we open this up, and inside, look at this, we have the twister board. So we close this up, and then we'll set this off to the side, and let's open up the twister board and take a look at that. So it's not very big, it's not as big as some of the other ones, but it is still kind of cool. So we have green, yellow, blue, and red, and we set this down here, and let's read the instructions real quick. It shows you on the back how this works. You spin the dial, and then you put your finger or thumb or whatever it says to do. This is cool. Okay, so 1 to 2 players. Each player plays with one hand and takes turns spinning the spinner and placing the correct finger on the correct space. For example, thumb red. Players must not take their fingers off the spaces they've spun unless the spinner directs them to move to a different spot. The first player to make a mistake loses. Uh-oh. So this game is pretty tricky and pretty hard. So you would spin this, and then it would land on, let's see, so that is red pointer finger. So you would put it right here, and then you would spin this again. Let's see, we'll do this. And then it says yellow, what is that? Yellow ring finger. So the next person would take their ring finger, which is this one right here. It's the fourth one in. So, well, I guess the thumb. So you get the thumb, the finger, then this is your ring finger right here. So you would take it and put it on here. Oh, I can see where this could be, like you're all twisted up on there. It'd be lots of fun though. And that's it. So have a good time with this one. This one is probably my favorite simply because Twister, it's such a crazy game. If you've ever played the real version of Twister, that's kind of awesome because you have to use your entire body. But this is a win in my book, so there you go. It's Twister. And last up at number 8 is Battleship. And look at, he's flexing his giant muscular arms, which you can rotate down here. And look at this. It even has a little anchor for a tattoo on there. This is cool. And nothing on the back there, so there are 2 panels here. So let's see, we'll flip these open. And inside, look at that, you have a pencil. So we'll pull that out. So you have the little Battleship pencil. And we'll close this back up. Or do we leave it open? I think we leave them open here. Let's see. And it looks like we leave them open and set it like this. So you kind of want it like that. So one person sits over here, one person sits over here. And you can see some instructions right here. And let's see, so you call out the space and hope that you hit one of the battleships. Let's read the instructions. 2 players. Each player takes a blank game sheet and a game sheet with the printed ships. The players each hang their blank sheet and place their game sheets with printed ships in the tray in front of them. Players take turns guessing coordinates for the other player's ships. For example, A5, and sharing the pencil to mark on the game sheets if that's a hit with an X or a miss with a circle. When all of the circles on the ship have been hit, then that ship is sunk. The player wins when they sink all of their opponent's battleships. So you can see the illustration right here. So basically what you do is you take these little sheets right here and then you hang them. So you pick this one and then you hang it right here. You see the little tabs and little holes on the paper, and you just hang that right there. And then you take this and you lay it at the bottom, and the other person does the same thing, and they're all different. There's a bunch of different versions of these battleships, and then basically you just call out. So right here, so this would be B2, this one would be C, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. And then you hope that the other person on the other side has those particular coordinates, and if you hit on that, you write your mark right here. So if you were to call out C4 and they say hit, you come down here and write C4 and there's an X. But if it's a miss, you write a circle, and that's how you zero in on your opponent's battleships. This is really cool. This is awesome. So there you go, everyone. This is great. It's Battleship. And there you have it, everyone. Hasbro Gaming set of 8 amazing little toys released by McDonald's back in 2020. I'm in love with this set. This is perfect. This is one of the coolest Hasbro gaming sets you'll ever get. It's perfect for a travel kit. Like, you can take them all with you on the road and have fun playing all these different games. You don't need a lot of space to mess with these. And what's really cool is that each one is like a little mini figurine type toy. It's just an absolute win, and I highly recommend adding this to your collection. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time.